It's November 1552. You're the sailing captain of a ship, all destined to cross the Atlantic and the Caribbean from Spain to Mexico, or the New Spain. Now all your ships are laden with supplies and treasure bound for this New Spain, all for the docks of Veracruz, Mexico. Now, this trip isn't like any other trip. This trip's going to cost you tragedy as you cross the Atlantic. And as you cross the Caribbean, you're going to hit fierce storms and pirates. Pirates. Now this sounds like a movie, right? Like a Pirates of the Caribbean episode. But this is a real story, my friend. This is the real story of the shipwreck of 1554. During your voyage, you lose many ships. But when you do reach the modern day Veracruz, Mexico, you notice that the port has been destroyed from a hurricane last September. Now, rebuild is slow. Remember, it's 1552. So it takes time. As they unload other ships, they set sail, but you wait. You wait that 1 year. Let them unload, and you take your time in port, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait for another convoy of ships to come in, but they don't. So you think, maybe I'll brave this. So you pack your ship and 3 other ships full of new treasures that you're going to take across to Cuba and then on to Spain. And you set sail. This is a mistake that will cost you gravely. Now, not only is this such a shipwreck, there's tons of shipwrecks. I have a map covering the shipwrecks of the Gulf Coast. But this shipwreck in particular changed the way archaeology and Texas do their work. You know, and not to mention the $470 million that was on these ships. It was lost at sea. Now, Antonio Corzo waited that year before leaving Mexico, Veracruz, Mexico, to make it to Cuba. But the ironic part is, if he'd have just waited 3 more weeks, he could have been part of the New Spain contingency fleet that showed up in port. But yet, he was eager. He wanted to go back. He had his ships loaded. He was ready to go, I guess. So there were 4 ships. 4 ships that sailed with him. But let me get this straight. The Santa Maria, the Santo, the San Esteban, and the San Andreas. On April 29th, the ships were hit by a massive storm that took out 3 of the ships off of Laguna Madre, or South Padre Island. Now, these 4 ships all went down in different spots along the coast, leaving 1 ship to make it back to shore. You know, that ship was the San Andreas. But by the time they got back to shore, weathering the storm, it was so bad off that they just had to re-scrap it. And the ship was destroyed. Of the other 3 that were wrecked off the coast of Corpus in South Padre, 300 men lost their lives. So, of those 300 men, a half to 2/3 drowned before reaching shore. The other men, once they reached shore, they thought they could walk back to Mexico along the beaches, but were encountered by Carrancoa Indians and Native Americans and slaughtered, except for one man. Because since we're quoting Disney, dead men tell no tales. One man made it back to Veracruz, Mexico, to alert the authorities and tell them of the tragedy of the ships. Now, of course, can you imagine hearing about the shipwreck with hundreds of millions of dollars lost? Oh, you better believe Mexico and Spain launched this giant salvage operation. Less than 40% of the cargo. The rest was lost, still on the ships. So they returned. I'm sure not happy. But they got 40%. So what is that? A little under $200 million back. Okay. So you get the backstory. It's all great. You get the map. Let's go ahead and fast forward to modern times. 1967. The state comes across this ship. And not only do they come across this ship, but they come across an Indiana salvage team who has already started salvage work on the ship and has removed a bunch of artifacts in gold and silver. Well, the state, of course, is, wait a minute, you're in my water. And, they own everything. So, they get an injunction to stop the Indiana salvage crew and halt all salvage operations on this ship. Now, a year go by, and they get a federal injunction, federal claims in the court that says they have all rights to this ship. Now we just learned in modern times about North Carolina and Nautilus production and the Queen Anne's Revenge, how the state took claim of that in all their production videos. Now, the federal court does give Texas the right to the wreck and all the artifacts. But the Indiana Salvage Company does get $313,000 from the state of Texas for what they have collected. And they have to return everything to the state. Among the 400-year-old wreck, the state goes in and gets multiple gold crosses, a gold bar, silver coins, crossbows, cannons, and navigational devices that are of very big importance because they let us know how they sailed back then. Over the next few seasons, field schools and artifact recovery, they get 12,000 kilograms of artifacts off of the bottom of the ship, the San Esteban. All of which is cleaned and placed into the museums, which you can see today. Now, not only did we get treasures from the San Esteban, no, that is cool. But what we got also was for the state to be able to pass the Texas Antiquity Law and go ahead and get the Antiquity Board together, who governs all this shipwrecks and artifacts, land or sea. They're able to put in laws and rules that govern salvage operations. Because, treasure hunting is fun and all, but you gotta do it for the right reasons. I like seeing the stuff. You like seeing the stuff. That kid down the street sure as hell likes seeing the stuff. Now, one sad little thing that happened, the Santa Maria was found. However, in 1950, the port's Manfills Channel was dredged and dug right through the Santa Maria, destroying everything. Lost forever. So, I'll tell you, this is an interesting story. I know my storytelling's not that great, but that wreck is still there. With the proper rules, the proper paperwork, you can go dive it. And trust me, I'll tell you what, as soon as me and Jesse can get back together and dive again after this virus is over, you better believe I'm working on that one. So, tell me what you think. I'm working on my storytelling. Leave your comments below. Like and subscribe, please. And share. Adventures out there. All you gotta do is go find it.